Good afternoon. My name is Christina Austin, and I want to thank you for the invitation to interview for um, the position of Executive Director at Prospect Ridge. These are just a couple of words that I describe myself as and I identify with. We'll move to the next slide. So why Prospect Ridge Academy? Well, first of all, your website is delightful. It shows that you guys really care about the whole child with your emphasis on high academics. I went and I looked through all of your academics that I have access to online, and it was very impressive to see that you have high growth in many areas, even though you already have excellent achievement, which is very difficult to do. So you guys are doing some things right, you can tell. The K-12 model to me is intriguing. I grew up in the military, so we moved a ton. And when I had children, I was very adamant that our kids would stay in the same school district from pre-K until they graduate. And I did accomplish that. So that is good. And I just feel like the community that you can form and the friendships that kids you've known when since you were 5 are really important and to keep in your lives. The other part that I enjoy, that I think is really a critical piece of Prospect Ridge, is your service learning. To me, this is like a project-based learning approach to giving back. Not only are the children giving to someone or giving to something, I saw a lot of animal projects, but they are also going to feel what it feels like when you do give. And once you have that feeling, I think people will continue, and the kids will do it well past their time with you at Prospect Ridge as well. So think about all the academic skills they're learning during service learning. They have to communicate clearly. They have to be able to collaborate, think critically, all very important skills that they're learning while helping others. So that's kind of what has drawn me to Prospect Ridge. So why me? Well, just a little bit of background about who I am, where I started. I started as a classroom teacher, and then I moved into literacy specialist positions, and then into instructional coaching. So instructional coaching, I was an instructional coach at a school very much like Prospect Ridge as far as high academics and its focus on social emotional as well. And after that, I became an assistant principal at a charter school, which was my first taste of being in a charter school, and I absolutely loved it. And it was a K-8 core knowledge school as well as you guys. And then I became a principal, and I have been doing that for the last 8 years in one building. So the core values that are guiding this decision-making to me, I always use empathy before when I am looking at something: collaboration, commitment, creativity, innovation, and a balance. That balance to me is really important, of mixing traditional learning along with innovative ways in order to, it says, to customize the results of each of our children. And that just goes back to differentiation. So I use all of these as lenses whenever I am making a decision for a school or for anything. You can see the continuous improvement cycle. I just wanted to put that on because this is something that is very important and that we use in our school, and I use in my everyday life. If you can identify the problem and then backwards plan it, you will have success because you're going to execute it, and then you're going to be reviewing. And this is a cycle that we teach our kids to do as well, so that when they are working on a project, they can think, okay, what is the problem? What do I need to do? How will I get there? Did I do it right? We use this also with MTSS as far as our process of helping kids that are struggling, as well as those of our gifted learners and some with behaviors. So let me look down just to make sure I'm not missing any of my other. Okay, so another part I wanted to share with you is that I am a former business owner. We owned a national franchise, a tutoring company, and I did that work alongside being a real estate agent for 3 years while my children were young, so I could stay home. So for 3 years, I was operating that, and our business went longer than those 3 years. So I have a business and an entrepreneurial spirit that I think is essential for overseeing a charter school network of schools. Let me look here, anything else that I would like to add. So I don't think so. So we'll go on to the next slide. Leadership. What is a good leader? Well, a good leader is someone who will listen to you, someone who is genuine. I think it goes down to one of the quotes here. This is from one of my assistant principals. I've had several assistant principals move into principalships. So part of that is also one of my styles of leadership is looking for strengths and building on those strengths. And John has described me as genuine, which I really, that comes close to my heart, because I do believe that we have to be ourselves, and then we get to know everybody and get relationships going, and we can really, really make a big difference. The bottom quote is from a parent. I've observed Christina coming up with new ways of looking at problems to solve them, finding champions to support the ideas, and building excitement in those around to move the idea to action. And I believe that quote right there is exactly what makes a good leader. It's that situational awareness. You see what's going on and you go, okay, well, let me look here. Let me make an action step. Let me do the problem solving to see if it's working. And I'm not afraid to take on those challenges and take on the hard work, because it's what I love to do. I am very anxious to be able to share the leadership skills that I have been able to learn from others over the past 11 years in leadership positions. So let me make sure again that I'm not missing anything on that one. Really, it's to listen and to be visible for everybody, modeling the behavior that you want for your entire staff and children and community is extremely important. So making sure you're living those core values that the school is representing. Okay, so this is the question on fundraising, or one of the examples. So I used fundraising. And ultimately, my job would be as a community organizer to organize all of the different functions that are going on in the school, because you guys are doing a great job of running the day-to-day of the business side of it. So I see it as my job is to bring the community even closer together, establish gatherings that we could have. It looks like you have lots of great history and not routines, but just, I'm blanking on the word, but you guys have traditions, that is it, in your school that I think are really important. For our fundraising, what we found, and again, this school that I'm coming from is 42% free and reduced lunch, which means that their parents are probably both working, some multiple jobs each, are living with grandparents and stuff like that. So these parents don't have as much to give, but once they know that there's a commitment to the school and what we're doing has a direct impact on their children, they are always willing to give. But when we started, the fundraising was pretty minimal, $5,000, maybe at the max for a year. So we decided there's something that needs to change. So we looked at the fundraising and what we've done in the past, and we decided, let's ask one time and ask big. So we did a Ninja Warrior Quest, like the TV show, and we created this on our own. And a group of people came up with a project-based learning that every grade level, PK through 6, because I think 6 was there at the time, did project-based learning around what is fundraising? Why do we fundraise? Well, if these are the things we want, then how are we going to get there? And so they planned their wants, their needs, they did economics. They had to write advertising for fundraising in order to get people to come in and to give. They practiced thank you cards and the whole works, which I will include a link into that so you guys can kind of see the work we did with that. The last year we were looking for equity for our in-person and our remote learners. And so we went with a Pokemon Go theme. We called it Kendall View Go. And basically all the teachers and staff became Pokemon characters of our own. And we used Snapchat to do a nice filter, and we made cards, and they would collect the cards, and the cards were, associated with moving up a certain ladder of the donations. And really all it was I hid stickers all over the school, the grounds. And the in-person kids did all of those during the day. And then the remote kids met us if their families felt okay after school. And we did it in a small group with them outside. And then I hid extra ones out at businesses and in just the neighborhood so that the scavenger hunt could continue at night as a parent or a family, something to do, especially during COVID when we were trapped inside. So, and it helped with our, like I said, the collaboration with the local businesses and restaurants and other nonprofits through some churches that we have worked well with. So this is something that we did. We made it real. We made it, they gave it a why, and people donated, and people donated that didn't always have the extra money to do so, but they knew that we have built our community and that we are only asking for money because it has a direct impact on what we can offer for their children. So again, thank you for inviting me for this quick interview. I will send again some of those links within the email, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.